fetch it from the database and then display. So like this, there are 100 people trying to see data from this particular, for this AAM output, for this AAM report. So there will be 100 queries on the database. Ultimately, what output you will see same, because you are looking for same data. But all reports you have created in your machines, and then you are clicking, you see the data, but the data will come from the database. You will see the data, but only thing is, every time when a report, when you click, it is going to database and fetching the data from the database. Now, this is one problem statement. Second problem, so he created report. He is looking all three brands. Now she created one more report. In that report, she is looking only FunPod brand. So again, data will come from the database only. So like all the data to get here, it is going to the database and coming from the database. And sometimes, okay, your individual query is taking 2 minutes or 3 minutes time. So whenever everybody trying to view data, every query, every report will take 2-3 minutes. And also all the queries are getting executed on the database. And then finally, one second. Okay, so the problem is every time the data will get from the database, and every query will take some time because they have to be fired on the database, and finally you will see the data. So this is the OBIEE server. And this is our real database, okay, where your tables are present, your fact and dimensions are present. And now we are here, BA server, presentation server, and this is your database. And you will also have one more, your browser, means your Internet Explorer. And you will select your report from here. From here, presentation server. Of course, presentation server and browser will work together. You can attach them. And request will go to BA server, and BA server will fetch, push your query to database. So generally, to generate SQL, it will depend on what? RPD. So this is a cycle actually. Request will come from here. Request will go to BA server, and BA server will evaluate your request on the RPD. It will generate SQL, and that SQL will be sent to database. So now I have a report which is taking, it is querying on the database and it is taking 15 minutes time because I have selected so many columns in that. And like this report is being executed or viewed by 10 people. So every report will take 15 minutes time. That is the first problem. Second problem, since all are trying to view same data and all queries are trying to hit the database at a time or even some minutes delay or anything. So unwantedly you are retrieving same information multiple times from the database. It is taking time and also you are consuming unwanted resources on the database. Okay, there are 2-3 problems. And one more final problem. So now he is a CEO. He is trying to see one report. And this report involves a lot of complex calculations. So I put all my efforts and finally I am not able to make the query response or a report time less than 15 minutes. I put everything. But what CEO says that whenever I click any report, I want to see in few seconds. I cannot wait. 15 minutes means, imagine when you click a browser in the internet and waiting for 15 minutes, how much irritation you will get it. Same way, anybody trying to see data, it is coming from there. So report will take 15 minutes time. Example, you will get irritated. Okay, so for all this, there is only one solution, that is cache. What is cache means? Whenever, anytime when you execute any report, whatever output you get from the database, this output can be saved in BI server, okay, in the form of cache. So where it will be saved under BI server. Okay, anytime whenever you are planning to, okay, get the data, okay, and then we have a facility to keep that information in the BI server. So what is the advantage? So now, first time he created one report. This report he created it. For the very first time he created, the person who created this report, so he went, okay, for this report it request went to database. He got the data and then you are able to see the data output here. But at the same time, whatever output he is seeing in the report, that output can be saved in the cache. Whatever you are seeing right now here, so this information can be saved here. What is the advantage? Whenever anybody trying to see similar kind of data in a report or any subset of the information. Now I have 3 records. He is looking for one record. We can get it. So yeah, in the report I have 3 brands report, but he is looking only one brand. She is looking another brand. So subset means lesser information of what you have. Means when you have some data in a cache, if anybody looking same data or lesser data of what you have, then for that particular data, you don't need to go to database again. Somebody already generated similar data and then kept in your cache. You go and pick it up from the cache and then show it. So now this guy spent 15 minutes, okay, to get the data. Means report took 15 minutes. After 15 minutes, whatever output is there, that is kept in the cache now. And first time he had some problem, okay, 15 minutes fine. But next, all of you are trying to view this data or some smaller piece of data from this particular report. Since your data is already available in the cache, so in the next second you will see the data in your report. All of you, you will see your data in next second because everything is here, readily available. That is called cache. Storing your report output in BI server is called cache. Advantage, next time same data, if I am anybody trying to view, can be made available in next few fraction of seconds. That is the advantage. Two advantages here. One is other people will see report data very quickly. And what is the advantage? Next time whenever anybody trying to see data of similar or lesser, I don't need to go to database. Since I am not going to database, so I am consuming less resources on the database. So those resources, means the memory, I can use for other processing. So they will not be burden on the database. So two advantage. You will see faster response and you can also reduce the load on the databases. I will come to that. Okay. So now this is cache. Okay. Now the second one is third problem I told you. One is, what is that problem? Same data we are repeatedly reading, same information. Okay, everybody 15 minutes, so that will solve. And there is a report, it taking 15 minutes, I can solve. And database resource, everything, all will get benefit. And last problem, there is a report you created 15 minutes taking time, and CEO want to see in few seconds. So here remember, first time who is trying to see, he will not escape from that problem. Because once the data created, then only it will be kept in a cache. Okay. So first time person, first time viewer will have that pain, but remaining all will get enjoyed. But here CEO is the first person and he is the only person trying to view data. Okay, but he cannot help him. So this is generally, this is a question actually people will ask you. Okay, so what we can do in OBIEE, we have a facility to schedule the reports. So now CEO will come to office 7 o'clock. Okay. So considering that mind, as soon as we load data into data warehousing, whatever report he tried to view, so those reports will schedule to run automatically as soon as your data loaded into warehouse. So generally he will see his report at 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock. And midnight to 2 o'clock only I will run the report, schedule it automatically, keep it ready. So when I report, I am running this report at what time? 2 o'clock. So report will let it take 1 hour, I don't mind. Once the report is executed, it will be stored in the cache. Morning when CEO comes, he will not feel whether he is coming from here or coming from there, but he will see in a 1 second. This is one of the solution you can propose. These are all common. These things you have to use in interviews. It's not like listening and leaving. So what are the challenges? So these are all common challenges. Okay, what I told you is the solutions. So this you have to say we had this challenge and we have given the solution. So this is about the cache and cache benefit. Now he asked like, I created a cache. Fine. He is asking about one very valid question. How long it will be there? We'll tell you why that is important. So now today I have loaded data. Who will load data into warehouse? ETL team. So now I have 100 customers. Today I have loaded. I have created a report. It is there in the cache and I saw the data. Once report is created, next time anybody trying to view similar data, they will take data from the cache so that they will see in very quickly. What happened? Day is over. Next day, these guys have loaded some extra customers next day, and the total customers now 200 in the database. Yesterday, how many were there? 100. So, how many customers data will be there in the cache yesterday? 100. Okay, so yesterday fine. So now, same guy went to office early morning, is trying to see data. Since for that report, cache is already there. So you have some data in cache and you have real data in a database. If I take data from cache, how many will be there? 100. If I take data from the database, 200 will be there. So what is right? 200 is right. So if you by mistake, if you see from cache, it is older only. That is the reason once you build the cache, okay, the next important is how long you are going to keep that cache is very important. So that process is first cache building, okay, then cache storage, then the last one is cache purging, means deleting. What is deleting means? Purging means once you build your cache, how long the cache should be there. If you keep it forever, you will see every next 10 years you will see 100 customers only. But other side, people are keep loading data into warehouse. Okay, that's why we have to in a regular intervals, we have to keep deleting the caches. That is called cache purging. Cache creation and cache storage and then cache purging, cache deletion. These are all topics we will be learning here and very, very important. First of all, when you start a topic, first of all, you need to decide for your OBIEE software, do you want to build a cache or not? Cache yes or not? Now that is your decision. Yes is always good. Okay. So we have to tell OBIEE that first whether your OBIEE software, do you want to build a cache? Yes or no? That is your option. Okay. If you say yes, OBIEE will start building the caches. If you say no, OBIEE will not even build any cache. If you say no option, where is this option? This option is available in your NQS config file. So when you go to NQS config file, you will have one section called cache. Do you want cache or no? You have to first decide here. So by default it will be yes. Okay. And if you do not want to build caches for your OBIEE software, you have to say no. So in older versions, we used to come back to this file and say yes or no. But in the current 11G, so we have an option. Okay, so like generally we have already discussed from 11G onwards, if you want to make any changes in the repository uh, configuration, where do we do? We'll go to the enterprise manager, and in the enterprise manager we'll do the configuration changes. We have a special concept called MIN browser, so it is making us to make changes in your file, okay, from the enterprise manager here. It is taking time. Looks like my software is down. Okay, so I'll show that property way to change, but the ultimately, whenever you want to make cache enable for your OBIEE software in your OBIEE system, so first you have to say enable equal to yes. So once you say yes, means you are opting to build the cache whenever reports are generated in the backside. So now the next question is, when you say yes, where do you want to save your cache entries? So everything whatever you build cache, that is called cache entry. So whatever caches you are creating. So this is going to be saved in the form of a file, but data will be in a binary format. Those entries, those caches are called cache entries. Okay, so these entries you have to decide where you want to save. Okay, and whenever you say yes, then only this is applicable. Whenever you say no, it is not applicable. So now here I am saying there are some properties. You can mostly leave as it is default. Okay, data storage path equal to cache. So for that it is giving a name. Okay, cache, whatever place it is going to occupy to store, for that it is going to give name cache, and then by default it is giving 500 MB allocation for that space because to store all the cache entries. And maximum rows per cache entry. So every cache, whenever there is a report, that is a cache entry. So how many number of maximum rows you want to allow for that particular cache? So for every maximum, okay, this is the number. What should be your maximum cache entry size? Entry means for every report when you create, for every entry. Okay, 100 reports means 100 entries. And the maximum cache entries means how many maximum entries within that 500 MB, how many entries you can have. If you want to can increase it, this is the default size. Populate aggregate rollups means now he created one report, cache is there. Somebody selected data from that cache and then he created few more calculations. So the second level of calculations also will be saved in again cache when you select cache rollups. Advanced cache hit detection. So we'll discuss about the hit detection now. Okay, so right now it is no. So both are same. Okay, both are correlated. That we'll discuss later. So and if you come down, you will see one section called cluster aware cache. What is this cluster aware cache means? In case your OBIEE server is running on multiple servers. So sometimes if one single hardware is not sufficient for your OBIEE, we will install OBIEE on multiple servers and then use pool or cluster. So in that case, okay, some cache entries will be in one machine, some cache entries will be in one machine. Okay, so if you want to tell that, okay, we are building cluster based cache, so that's why you have to say cluster aware cache information. So in that case, okay, you have to select in which server you are planning to store your, out of 4 servers, you need not necessary to build caches in all the servers, you can choose on one server and that will be replicated in all other servers also as well. Okay, so this is applicable only when you are building OBIEE on a multiple clusters, means installing OBIEE software on a multiple servers, otherwise it is not required. So this information generally you will be choosing here, okay, but if you want to change any of this information, think some of the servers it's down.
Sir, if the data size is above 100 MB, what is it?
Cache will not be created. That is the maximum allow entry. Cache will not be there. Your report will run, but the cache will not be created.
Is it possible to increase to?
This you can increase. You can make it any number whatever you want. Okay, and now what is the path, the default path where your cache entries are created? This information generally available, whatever folder you've seen inside. Okay, so these are the entries. So right now, I looks like I've created two reports, right? So already cache enable yes is there. So that's why you'll see two entries created on 18th, okay, 826 and then 848. So that report whatever I have created, so that output will be saved in the, yeah, that is the minimum setting, and if you want to make anything you can, depends on your usage, you can increase the cache sizes, that's all. Apart from that, no need to change anything. Okay, so now these two entries are here. Okay, and then whenever I go and create any report, say for example I am going to create a new report here. So immediately you can see there is a cache entry created, okay, just now 856. Okay, so like this your cache entries will be created. So now after some time, okay, if you are looking similar or any kind of data later on, okay, what you can do, okay, now I am going to create one more report.
Why did you have to ask that the cache is handling maybe what is to be
Cache,
default size is 500 MB and we are getting report on
it
that.
will not, it will stop it, it will, report will continue to run and you will not have a cache entry created for your report, that's all.
Manually we need to go and reduce the some cache in the cache
Now
size.
that is the maintenance. What is your maximum size? We will not allow anything. We will keep this. I cannot go and create any. I will not allow your total cache size beyond this number. We will decide that first only.
And we again reset that one.
Huh?
If we want that again we reset that one.
Yeah, you can later reset, but it won't help for that report because it's already running in the backside. If you change any configuration, you have to restart BI servers. So that is, scenario will not come. Anything, first of all, you have to decide and keep it. Anything beyond that, there is nothing wrong in it. There is no cache created. It is only extra benefit only, but it is not a functionality problem. So that's why there will not be anything.
Is it possible to delete that cache?
Yeah, we'll see that. Now we are only talking about the cache building, and if you don't delete, there is a big severe problem. So now every time, next time if I create any report, this will be coming from the cache only. If you see after 56, do you have any cache created? No means we got the data, say no cache created means it is using the existing cache. So your report is not gone to the database. It came from the cache itself. So now this is in a raw file I am showing. But now I want to see list of what are the caches available, or if I want to delete a cache or anything. Okay. So now if I create any report now from these three columns. Yeah.
Second time,
Hmm.
first time I created that report, my senior is looking at again that report, right? So that report again is from essay, right? But actually you are looking, suppose you are my senior and you are looking after 2 hours, what is the exact report? And that data will be from essay. Because that data will not be from
Database.
source database. Means maybe you will got found even.
No, that's why we know that we have not gone to that level. First of all, we are just discussing what is cache. We are not. We know already we discussed. If you don't delete the cache, so we'll get into that level next. Okay. So now cache entries are created. That's all. So now we'll go and get the data from there. But if I want to see what are the entries we have here, for one particular cache I want to delete it, and all that information I want to see it. Okay, to do this in OBIEE RPD we have a section which talks about cache manager. So remember, I am not using WebLogic because we are now in a external table security. In external table we don't have a WebLogic, so it won't allow you. In case you have external table authentication set, logging to here with WebLogic will not work. So any user will have a system privilege will be coming over here. So now whenever you open a repository in online mode, if cache is enabled and if there are any cache entries, and if you go here, cache manager, it will show you right now what are the entries we have here. Whatever information is there, so complete statistical information is available here. So now this is the entries, and for every cache entry you can also see how many times your cache has been used and when it was used last time, and all that information you can see here. If you right click, it will show you, okay, this cache has been built for what purpose, okay, what report purpose, or what type of information is available in this particular cache. So now we know only cache building only and where it is going to save, that's all. Okay, so now we'll get into the second one. So right now cache creation or cache building. So when you enable yes, caches will be stored here and you can view them using a so you cannot view them when you log in with offline mode. Only online mode only you can see all those entries. Okay, this is the cache enable, that's all, and the entries will be saved, that's all. Okay, so once your cache is created, two things. Okay, now I will go and create a report. I am creating a report. So how OBIEE will know that this report when I can get it from the cache or should I go to database? So we know that, but OBIEE should have that mechanism. Whenever somebody creating a report, this report whether I can get it from the database or from the cache. So I will create a report here. So now when I click, I know that it cannot come from cache, but how OBIEE knows that? So to help understanding this, any request whenever you are trying to create or generate, to decide whether this report can come from cache or should I go to database, and that will be decided by a algorithm mechanism in OBIEE which is called cache detection, cache hit detection. Whenever a cache is enabled, whenever you click result button, the first request will be fired to the cache hit detection. Cache hit detection, what it does, whatever request, whatever report you are trying to execute now, it will take the SQL definition, your report SQL definition, and it will go to the entries which are already there and then try to compare whether this information we can get it from the current existing entries are. That's why when cache is built, okay, all this information, metadata information also will be stored. So cache detection will decide, okay, whether the report can come from the cache or go to database. If it is released to go to database, it will go to RPD, it will generate the SQL and fire the database, get the data and build the cache. If it is decided, okay, this information already available in the cache, it will go to cache and then it will directly, so it will bypass your database. So that is very simple. So now the next question is, so when I have built a cache, when I am every time keep getting the cache from the cache only, always you will see first day data only, you never get implemented. So that is the reason. The next important is cache purging. This is the very important interview point of view. So how many ways we can purge cache? One is manual. So what is manual? Go to cache manager, select any cache and say purge. Your cache deleted. Like this you can purge. Okay, and if you purge like this, I cannot keep one person to purge every day. But in case you want to purge a particular entry, you can purge it. This is one option. And there is a different option. Okay, whenever you are creating a cache, so you can decide how much time this cache should be available, and after that it should be automatically purged. Okay, and that option, if you go to physical layer, if you select any table, here you will have an option cacheable, by default yes, and here two options, cache never expires, means once it is created, any cache created for this table, it will never expire. Okay, but in case if you want to automatically purge cache for every 1 hour or 1 day, whatever time the cache entry has been created, after that time, let's say now 1 hour, 1 day, once the cache entry created, after 24 hours the cache will be automatically deleted. Which cache? A cache which is created on this table only, not other tables. So in case you want to set, you have to set it for every table.
Suppose I am taking one column from one table and another column from another table.
So if both are available, then only it will go to cache. If one table is not available, it will not.
So the time will be saved in both tables.
Yeah.
One table if you given a cache time, then other table will be given a reference.
See, blind thumb rule is if cache is present, data if all the data is present in cache, then only it will. If one column is missing or something is there, it will directly go there. That is the ultimate final root level.
So it's not possible if one table is set for cache and another is not set for cache.
User, if you said that way, any report exclusively on the table you will get cache. At that table you will not get, but combined you will not get.
So whatever cache is set, we can see the data.
The data. Others, if it not there, so it will go to database. Okay, so this is your table expire time in physical layer and then in physical layer. So this will automatically purge. This is a no manual intervention required. Okay, then again this is also not good actually. Because example, why it is not good? Say today I'm loading data into data warehousing, and I have created a report. Data warehousing data loaded here 11 o'clock, let's say 3 a.m. early morning. Example, early morning 3 a.m. data loaded into this data warehousing. Yesterday I have created a report midnight to 10 o'clock, sorry 11 o'clock. If I give one day there, what happens? This cache will be purged next day 11 o'clock, next day. But today morning if I go and see a report, still it will get from cache. But database is different, cache is different. If you cut down the time, if you say 1 hour, okay, so your data loaded at 3 o'clock, I created a report 4 o'clock, and after 6 o'clock also if you create a report, again it will get from the database, because 1 hour is cache purge. So that is the reason this is not a workable thing. It is only option wise is there, and 99% this option is not a realistic option. Okay, because you create a report anytime and it can be done anytime. So what is the best is, there are two more options. One is called using SCA for JAL cache command manually. Okay, so these are the two options we can try. Okay, so for you, ultimately always answer should be this. This is for interview purpose. Anytime how you do means, this is the yellow mark is the actual option which you can work out or which you can tell. Okay, the rest all will. So I'll stop it for today. To next session we'll go what are those commands and how to configure event pooling. Okay, and all will continue. So there is no class tomorrow, day after tomorrow. There's no